hardest time telling when things start. It's like the worst part of starting a live stream. We are apparently live, so I'm going to go ahead and assume that when people start to be able to hear us, they'll be able to hear us. And hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very special, very neat guest. Sassy, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Sassy Atheist. I'm on Twitter, and I also have my YouTube channel, which I talk about a lot of different things about my religion, politics, just a whole bunch of different things. So go check it out.
Yeah. Sassy has a really cool story, and unlike some of the other people in our community, Sassy, I almost said Sassy for some reason. Sassy's story actually starts off, one, like some of my other good friends, you're a person of color, which already adds dimensions. I'm Hispanic. And I can tell you, I'm not a person of color. Some Hispanics are, but like my family is deeply religious, and there are similar things. I've gotten to hear your story. My story isn't as super public as yours is, which is both fortunate and unfortunate. But do you mind sharing with my audience just the basic details?
Okay. Well, I'm a former evangelical Christian. I became an atheist in January of this year, which wasn't too long ago.
Yeah.
But I used to do a hardcore preaching on Twitter. I would preach about basically anything that was against God, about homosexuality, about transgender people, about gender neutral bathrooms, and about atheists, and just a whole bunch of different things. And but what led me to, well, one of the things that led me to become an atheist was I was talking to a couple of atheists who were really kind, and they asked me questions that made me question my faith. And as I kept thinking on hard about it, and I came to a shocking realization that, man, I've been wrong, like really, really wrong this entire time. And I let it kind of brainwash me, and I was being someone that I truly wasn't. And I've hurt other people by my preaching. So I had made a public apology to everyone and telling everyone that I am no longer a Christian. And some of them didn't believe me. Some of them said I was lying, or said, you can't just make a 180 and go from preaching and to becoming an atheist. And I was like, well, the process was what led up to this was very long. But yes, I did make a quick, change, but the process of learning and growing and figuring out and just really thinking and like really understanding that wasn't good for me, and then I just became an atheist. And I've been active. I've been doing activism for the atheists, for LGBTQ plus the community, and just doing a lot.
Also, I hope that it's not like distracting that I'm looking down. I'm responding to comments using my iPad, and I recognize that like in interviews that might seem a little bit distracting. I'll tell a little bit about my story because I have a whole bunch of new folks, so not everyone here knows that much about like my religious background. I am also a queer ex-Christian atheist, and what happened with me was I was raised theistically by moderate Catholics. My family was and are super chill about both religion and sexuality, although they had to like learn. Obviously, for our family, it was like growing pains that we had to experience. But I went to Christian schools in the United States and in Latin America. I went to a Christian school in North Carolina, and then I went to a somewhat Christian school in Honduras, although the people there probably feel like it's a secular school. It's not. It's a religious school. And that's fine because the school is still a lot better. School is still a lot better than like public schools in Honduras would have been. And I went to college, and I'm one of those I'm one of those atheists that when I went to college is when I converted. Unlike most of my friends, I have like a specific powder keg moment that was the moment I realized I was an atheist. And what happened with me was I was dating someone who was raised non-religiously, but was Catholic. And she and I would both become non-religious. But the thing that happened for me was I went to go see the movie God's Not Dead. At that point, I had already...
I've seen that movie too.
At that point, I was already mostly not a Christian, but I was still trying to cling. But like, I literally entered that movie thinking that like, this is going to restore my faith. It's going to be great. And I left that movie. And the first thing I did was I looked at my girlfriend and I'm like, hey, I'm an atheist. Like, it was that.
Who watches the movie is like, hey, I'm an atheist now.
Well, like, I was already 9/10 of the way there. And the thing for me that actually killed it was like the realization that if I continued to be a Christian, I would have continued to be aiding and abetting in that like afterlife. Everything else I was already like far away from, but the idea of hell was the thing. I'm like, all right, I can't do this anymore. I can't pretend to be something that I'm not. So,
see, it was different for me. It actually grew my faith in God a little bit more after watching that movie.
That's funny.
It was the opposite for me. I mean, after watching it, was like, man, this movie is empowering, and just it was just I was just so like in awe of it, and like, you know, wow, the points that the character was making during that debate with his teacher. Oh my gosh.
I think that for me, like, so for some full context, I gave like a really short version of this, but I was a first year in college when this was going on, when the trailer came out, when the movie came out. I was a first year in college. And what ultimately ended up happening with me was I went to one of the winter fests. I went to one of the Winter Jam concerts. And that year, Newsboys, which was the band that produced the song God's Not Dead, was there, and they were advertising the movie. So when my girlfriend at the time and I went to go to the concert, we were both really excited. We're like, this is going to be awesome. These tickets are really cheap. There's so many different bands. And I'm going to be honest, like, even now, I still listen to some Christian music, because the reality is, like, some Christian music, like Skillet, which is a very religious band, they produce music that's just really good. And you, like, they're not super explicit about the religion most of the time. There are a couple of songs that are, like, really ham-fisted, but most of them aren't.
That's my problem with majority of Christian music, is because they make it so loving, that God is so loving and forgiving and compassionate, and that you're not alone, and that he's right there with you, and et cetera, but they intentionally leave out all the stuff that contradicts all that. Or I think
it's like because of that like some people are able to just sort of transfer the music, because like most of the time it's not like Jesus is Lord, at the very least not with like the really popular Christian bands. Most of it sounds pretty secular. So if you're like, all right, this is a song about someone I love, it's pretty easy to just transfer it over.
Well, you're gonna find this funny. When I was a Christian, I didn't hear many Christian music on the radio. Well, I wasn't on a religious radio station to begin with, but anyway, but they would, every now and then they would play a song about God. But let me tell you this, ever since I became an atheist, they won't stop playing Christian music. They won't stop. Like every single day, I hear You Say by Lauren Daigle. I'm sick of it.
Lauren Daigle got in trouble, though. Like,
her song, I mean, I literally know the lyrics to it. I've heard it so many times. And it's just, it was just funny. Before I literally kept praying to God. I was like, please, God, please, let them play Christian music so I can grow in my I can grow in my faith. And then now I hear it all the time. It's like, oh, maybe God is real.
Well, like I grew up in a whole bunch of different countries, but when I lived in the United States, which I did for several years growing up, I grew up in Georgia and in North Carolina. And at the very least, the places that I lived, there was some religious music. It wasn't like a hyper majority, and most of it was like skillet. So it was like the watered down Christian music that wasn't super explicit. There were a couple of exceptions here and there, like "Come On, Get Higher," which is an explicitly religious song. It's also one of my favorite songs, even to this day. It's just a good song, but like that's one of the only exceptions to like the really religious songs rule that I heard growing up.
Yeah, and I still watch. It's not Christian music, but I even still watch Joan of Arcadia. It is a good show. It's not. It has a lot of meaning to it, and I do like it. I have like the 2 seasons on DVD still, and so but yeah, the music. Oh my God, I can't stop hearing it all the time.
I actually went to 2 Winter Jam concerts. I went to one when I was really young. Not when I was like really young, but when I was like 13. So I was like in middle school. And that was the first one. That was the first Winter Jam that I went to, which was the first time that I heard music that was like very explicitly religious, aside from when I was in church. And that year was the year Skillet world premiered their song "Whispers in the Dark," which I think that year was like one of the most popular songs in the United States. Yeah. And that song is just like really good. Like I feel like it's fair for people to be like, yeah, it's a bop.
Funny.
I think it's interesting that we both went to go see the same movie for the same reason, and we had such different reactions to it.
Because I mean, when I watched it, I was I think around that time I was starting to have a little doubt or something, and I was looking. And I got it from the library, and I watched it, and I'm just. Oh my God, this is so empowering, and just look how much courage that girl who came from a Muslim family was actually like turned to Jesus and learned the truth. Oh my God.
I had a very different reaction to that, especially because I was just like, yeah, it's pretty cool that they have a character who comes from like an oppressed background who like switches her religion. But then the anti-theistic part of me, because like when I was a young atheist, I was very much an anti-theist. The young edgy part of me was like, yeah, but she just went from one oppressive religion to another. So I hate that movie so much. Oh my goodness.
It is. I couldn't even finish God's Not Dead 2. I couldn't even finish it. It was just, okay, I've had enough. Once they start bringing Jesus in the courtroom, I'm done. I'm not. No. No way. If you use Jesus to defend yourself or defend your no, don't. Just don't. No. I'm out.
Something that's really funny to me is there are a whole bunch of Christians who despise the God's Not Dead franchise. One of them is Matt Walsh, who not that many atheists are super familiar with, but he is he's just a dumpster fire of a human being, and he's like this very Catholic, hugely anti-abortion guy. But a couple of weeks ago, he shared his old review of God's Not Dead. I don't know why. He just felt like resharing it. And he despises that movie. He hates it so much. And he's not a man known for nuance, but he's like, hey, we shouldn't caricature atheists this way. And I'm like, oof, that is heavy coming from Matt Walsh. That is a powerful statement. Other people are talking about Christian movies that they saw. Fireproof? I know that was like a popular movie, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, what's Fireproof?
I've heard about it. I just don't know.
I don't think I've ever heard of it. Oh my gosh, you're gonna find this study. Okay, so I had a few like Christian movies. Like I had the Gospel of John, and I had the other one. And I had David and Goliath, and there's another one too. And literally, I started watching it. I was like, I don't usually like these movies because they leave out things in the Bible, they twist it, but I'm gonna give this movie a try. It was David and Goliath. Let me tell you, I sat and I was watching it, and I'm like, this does not sound familiar. So I went into my Bible, and I was literally going page by page according to what where the story of David Goliath, and I was pointing out, and I was like yelling at the TV, that is not, you left that part out. This is I'm not kidding you. I was so mad, and I didn't even finish it. I was just comparing, like, hey, no. This is not what they said. This is not what they went, or this is not I'm
gonna say something that is gonna evoke a lot of feelings in people in the chat. Do folks remember VeggieTales? Because VeggieTales was weird.
VeggieTales? Hey, does anyone remember Teletubbies?
Well, no, like VeggieTales was like Christian. It was like it was literally Christian stories with like the vegetable equivalent of furries. It was the weirdest
Wait. Okay, I'm thinking of something else then, because I do not remember that at all. Maybe I'm thinking of something. What the heck am I thinking of then? Maybe it was another vegetable show that had nothing to do with.
I don't know what you're thinking of, but VeggieTales was very explicitly based off of Christian stories. They had Noah and the flood among like David and Goliath and like 7 other different Bible parables.
Okay, now I seriously gotta look it up after we're done, because maybe I'm thinking of a completely different vegetable show, because that's like, what? Because I don't remember seeing that in that show.
I also found out a couple of weeks ago that the Berenstain Bears, which is another, I feel like more people probably won't know what the Berenstain Bears are. But
I love Berenstain Bears.
Like, odds are you and I know what it is, but it's this little show. It's the show for little kids and this book series for little kids that has like cute little bears and stuff. And I didn't know that it was Christian, but the other day I live in a military base, and I sometimes go shopping at the PX to just go and get like snacks and whatever. And I went and I took a picture of a Berenstain Bears thing that was called The Berenstain Bears Go to Church. And apparently it is a very religious thing. I did not know that growing up, because like I watched it and it didn't seem very religious.
Yeah, exactly. I never knew. I mean, maybe there was an episode where they went to church. I don't know, but I don't. It was just a normal. I remember it being a normal kids show about the brother and sister and mama and pop. I don't. Oh my!
The books were at least religious. I don't know if the show was. It's really weird.
Yeah, because the show, I don't ever remember the show being religious. I actually never really read the books, but I watched the show, and because that was one of the shows that I grew up watching, and like I said before, and like in the past to people, that I wasn't really brought up religiously, so. Yeah. I didn't watch that many, like, hardly religious shows or movies.
So like, it's weird. You would think that there'd be more Spanish language stuff that's like very religious, especially for little kids. And there definitely is. Like, it absolutely exists, but it's not. At the very least, when I was growing up, I was raised, among other places, in Colombia and in Honduras. And in both places, there wasn't that much stuff for little kids that was like explicitly religious. There weren't any cartoons I can remember that I didn't also see in the United States.
Yeah.
So.
See, I really give them props for that. Was have you heard of Caillou?
Yeah.
Well, when they put out the Caillou Christmas movie, um, they and when his and Caillou's mom was telling him, and it was all of these how people around the world celebrate Christmas. I thought it was really nice because it didn't just show just one version of how some people celebrate it, and they showed other different beliefs and countries and how they celebrate it, and I thought that was really really nice. And that's the thing, I mean, kids can listen and hear about different religion, but and make like tell them or in a way that is that, well, this is what these people believe, or like this religion is, and it's a different belief. And I'm not against kids from hearing about religion and learning about it. Just what I'm against is them being raised in that religion and being told that that is the truth and everything else is wrong, and so on and so on. And just teach them about different, like at least like the major different religions, or some of them, and when they grow up, let them come to their own decision what they want to believe in.
So this is a sentence I never thought I'd have to say, because it's just a weird sentence. I posted a New York Times link from 2016 in the chat just now that said how the Berenstain Bears found religion, and is an article that talks about like the religious history of the publishing company of the Berenstain Bears. Also, I'm butchering this name. I have no idea how to pronounce it. The Bear Show, guys. The Bear Show. People can go and
Berenstain. Berenstain.
Also, Little Bill had episodes that took place in like church and stuff, and I feel like that makes a little bit more sense, because Little Bill, among other things, Bill Cosby is very religious, and Bill Cosby was one.
Oh no! Don't mention Bill Cosby. It's gonna go crazy in the chat. Oh no!
The algorithm is gonna go insane. But yeah, like Little Bill, which was one of my favorite little kid shows growing up.
I know, I loved it too.
It was
I love
so good, and like now I feel bad. I feel bad like as an adult, because I'm like, oof, I really should not like this show as much as I do.
No, I do love Little Bill. Some people in the comments are gonna start talking about Bill. Oh, never mind.
Apparently, there was another bear show that's unrelated that came around at the same time. I'm not American, y'all. I wasn't raised in that country.
Yeah, we have some pretty weird shows.
I remember that there was another little kid show that also had like a big bear. But this one had like puppets and people, not puppets.
Yes,
dolls. And
what's it called? The Big Bear in the Big Blue House or something like that. Yes, I love that show.
We were supposed to talk about being queer ex-theists, and we're talking about little kids media, y'all. There's the layers to this. I feel like this is a good chat. I feel like we have like a natural like ability to just sort of go off of each other.
I think this is the most fun I've had. I mean, in collaborating with someone, I think it's the most fun I've had. Because literally every time and every single video collaboration that I've been with, we were supposed to be talking about a specific thing, then we just trail off and talk about something like completely different.
I feel like this is a good introduction to like your energy, because like in your videos you are also pretty energetic, and in your like live streams, like I watched some of the live streams that you were in. I didn't get to watch all of them, obviously, otherwise I would have known about Neil. But like this is a good introduction to like your energy. So I am
very I can be like extremely energetic around people that are like me. So like
I'll take the compliment.
I talk a lot, and I just I go on and on and on.
I really like this though, especially because like little kid media was so weird. And I feel like you really have to be an adult to be able to appreciate just how fucking odd it is. It's okay. This live stream is never going to be monetized given that we talked about Bill Cosby. So it's okay. We can cuss. Like, and yes, in case people are curious, that I don't cuss in all of my live streams. I cuss in some of them, but I do like sex ed and stuff in some of my live streams. So I'm like, yeah, most of these aren't going to be monetized. Even if I hit that status, it's not gonna work. But yeah, little kid shows are weird, especially little kid religious stuff, because like you can't really translate all of the batshit insane stuff that happens in the Bible well to like children. You can't make it age appropriate.
Well, I think when they made an animated family movie about what was his name? Joseph, King of Dreams. They didn't leave much out. They stuck closer to the story than these live action movies that are supposedly about the books of the Bible. It's a kids' movie's a lot more. It's closer to the actual story than it is.
I appreciate the energy in your reaction. I think it's great.
Oh my god. Oh my word! I never understood that.
Like you aren't wrong though, because like I'm gonna be real. Some of this media can be like hella dark, especially for kids. And I'm not even talking about like religious stuff. Pokemon, like the first Pokemon movie, like Ash straight up dies in the first Pokemon movie, just like very viscerally. It's like, wow, this is dark.
I have a confession to make. I really don't like Pokemon.
That's fair. I'm not going to crucify you for that.
I did want to go see the new Pokemon movie. That looks kind of fun, but I don't really get into it other than wanting to see that movie.
I think that's fair. The main reason I brought it up wasn't because everyone was gonna be like, "Oh, I like it." It was just because he just straight up dies, like very obviously, just dead, and then obviously he gets better. But like, holy shit, guys.
It's not okay. It's not Pokemon related, but but okay. I know you're not Mexican, but this movie, my sister and I went to go see The Curse of La Llorona, and
God.
It was the most terrible. Okay, I don't have a good track record when it comes to picking out horror films, and this is the last straw. My sister said, "I'm done. I am done seeing horror movies with you." She was laughing at it, and I'm being terrified. I scream. I put my popcorn, and then it got boring, and I'm like, and I'm just sitting there like, when is it gonna get interesting? And then the makeup of her, it looked like someone who was just starting out like a birthday party.
You're just over here roasting. I'm
sorry. It looks like someone was doing face painting at a kid's birthday party. That's how bad it was. And it was just, yes, I mean, they really got to start using better tactics when it comes to horror films. This jump scare, like sounds, you gotta do more. I mean, come on. Even I, who can't watch a lot of horror films, I'm trying to build up that courage to do a bit. Even I'm saying that you need to make it a little bit scarier.
The scariest series I've ever seen was The Haunting at Hill House, and I'm not gonna lie, I watched the first few minutes. It starts off really slow. If you want to see something that will scare the hell out of you, just the ending of the first episode has the scariest jump scare I've ever seen, and it's because they built up to it. Like it wasn't just like a surprise, bitch. That wasn't what happened. Like, if
Oh my
people want to go
God.
see it, I'm not gonna spoil it, so I'm not gonna say what happens. But like,
Have
that
you
is genuinely the scariest thing I've ever seen.
have you seen The Nun?
I have.
I have too. My sister laughed at it. I was scared of. Okay, can I tell a funny story?
Go look. Honestly, this stream we've lost the pot, and that's okay. We'll get back to it. Just go ahead and tell the story. I think this is a fun, and I think this is natural. I like this.
Okay, you guys are gonna make fun of me for this. You really are. But I seriously, there was a time where this was when I was um well, I was going to the Catholic, and I was gonna become Catholic.
Mm.
You guys, once I became Catholic, I once I completed the RCIA classes, I was going to become a nun. No joke, no joke. I am dead serious. I was going to get. I was, I was going to get rid of my stuff, all of my jewelry, makeup, everything, because I knew that wasn't allowed, and I was doing so much research online to pick which. Where I wanted to become, where I wanted to stay, where yes, and guess what inspired me to do it?
What was it?
The Nun movie.
Wait, the Nun movie came out like last year.
Yes, and that was around the time where I wanted to become a nun.
There was my ex and I were both Hispanic, so obviously we were Catholic. It's kind of racist to assume, but it was accurate in our case. When we first started dating, there was someone who was like a big, I guess, evangelist for nuns, and that doesn't make sense. What I mean is, like, this was a person who was trying hard to sell the idea of being a nun to young ladies. She approached my my girlfriend when we were dating, and is like, "Hey, you would make a really good nun." My girlfriend at the time didn't think about it, obviously, and she's now an atheist. But like she told the person, she's like, "Yeah, I'm dating someone," and the person's like, "Oh, that's okay. You can just break up with them and become a nun." And I'm like, "No, fucking stop."
Yes, that's the thing. You're not allowed to be with anyone. And if you're adult and if you want to become a nun, and if you have kids, they have to be a certain age. You have to be adults. So and before and then you can become a nun. And purity is a really big thing. And just basically, you're in submission to God. You're serving every day in the church to God. And I know how to pray the rosary. Still, I know how to pray the rosary, and
I actually don't know how to pray the rosary. I've since forgotten. Also, there's someone who may or may not be a Christian in the chat right now. I'm being very polite to them. I hope they're having a nice day.
What do you say?
The person is a Christian. The person's a Catholic. Well,
oh God! Oh no!
I'm an ex-Catholic. Obviously, I'm not a very good ex-Catholic.
Oh my gosh! If they're Catholic, they're not really gonna like my 2 videos about Catholicism on my channel.
You know? You've met Bemezel Bub, right?
Yes, he's a nut. He's a nut. Yeah.
Hey, no, that's what my friend.
He's a nut. Yeah, he is. I mean, he's. I remember when I think it was we were both watching. We were in the live chat on one of Neil's videos, and we were just going back and forth about cosplay and
Oh, so you mean a nut in a good way? Okay, I was about to be
not in a good way. No, he doesn't need mental help. He's okay. He's safe. Was he in the chat?
No, he and I do live streams together.
Oh, okay.
So I'm a pretty frequent. I'm a more frequent guest now, but I've been on his channel a couple of times in the past, and I really like his videos. He is very specifically. He talks a whole lot about like ex-Catholicism. I mostly talk about ex-Christianity because like I became an ex-Catholic before I became an ex-Christian. I left the Catholic Church not super long before I left Christianity, but like I left that first. So.
I want to address this person, some in the chat, some random G33K. They said that Sassy Atheist. I think I will enjoy your video on Catholicism. Let me ask you, if you're still in the chat, if you can hear me, are you super Catholic? Because if you are,
that person is not Catholic.
Oh, yeah. No, I assumed it. Who did I read then that was Catholic?
Okay, good Traz. This is very meta now.
Darn it. Dang it.
So
sorry.
Good Traz Anglo is the person who said that they might have been Catholic. That's the person.
Okay, I just assumed that because when you said it and I didn't hear and then who you said it was, and then I said and then I read that I think I will enjoy your video on Catholic. Okay, my bad. Sorry. Sorry. I made a boo boo.
This is a very interactive chat.
I made a boo boo.
Like this is one of the things that I like about live chats and about like stuff that's not pre-recorded. I would do way more live streams. I talked about this a little bit yesterday in my second live stream, but I really like actually being able to interact with people because
exactly.
Like,
I know I can't wait until I get enough subscribers where I can do live streams, because that would be like
Wait,
so
you can't
awesome.
do live streams right now? That's weird.
No, because I don't have enough subscribers. I'm below 100 or whatever amount that they said.
It has to be 100 because I can do live streams. Yeah. I'm only at 400, so.
Yeah, so I mean, I told like I really, you don't know how much I really want to do a live stream, because I would be doing them a lot more. But now I can't because I don't have enough subscribers.
I'm gonna start plugging your channel a lot more aggressively now then, because I didn't know. Like, I think that I must have hit 100 before they changed that rule, because that's weird. I honestly didn't know that.
Yeah, because I read that, and because I try to do it, and then they say you can't do it because you don't have enough subscribers.
Are you in the chat? Because if you are, people can go to your channel if you leave a comment. Yeah, I'll make you a moderator as well, so that way you can also link your own channel. But it's also in the video description. So if folks go and click on the title of the video, the description will pull down, and then they can go over to her channel from there.
Do you still want me to?
Yeah, that would make it easier.
Okay, hold on.
Especially because like you're in most of my live streams anyway. The people, there are a lot of moderators, and there's some folks who should have been made moderators that I am going to be making moderators now if it will let me. For some reason, it's not letting me. That's annoying.
I put my link, and can someone click on it to make sure it works? Every time I do a link, it never works, and I don't know why. Every time I do a stupid link, it just ends up not working.
Cool. I made Yuriv, whose channel name changed recently, also a moderator. I meant to do that earlier, but when I tried, it wasn't working. But now both of y'all are moderators. And most of y'all are like in a lot of my live streams anyway.
Thank you. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but thank you.
I'm going to see how many subscribers you have now. 65. Nice. Well, that's according to this. That might not be accurate, but 65.
No, yes, it is. It's 65. Yeah, it's 65.
I hit Blaze It numbers earlier today, and I was very surprised because I made that joke during yesterday's live stream. It's a dumb joke, but like I woke up today and I had 420, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I just sometimes I worry about when I'm promoting my channel. I sometimes I like, should I do it, because I'm worried that I'm promoting it too much, and I don't want people to think that I'm being pushy or being self-absorbed, that I really want everyone to like check out my channel. Well,
I get that. I have social anxiety, and that is like no lie. That's, as someone who does a lot of online work, because like I get paid for some of the writing that I do. I've gotten paid for video editing and stuff. Like I have actually earned money from this, and even still I'm just like, I don't know if I want to be like super aggressively pushing my stuff. That's a feeling a lot of YouTubers, especially smaller YouTubers, can relate to.
Yeah, I mean, I want people to, because it's not like my videos are, how I want to say it. It's, let's say, like for example, it's about makeup. I really wouldn't be pushing my channel that much if it was just about makeup tutorials or whatever.
Yeah.
But since this is more, I try to put out important content, and I try to talk about my journey and a lot of other different things, is that I really want to, because I know that there are a lot of people out there that have gone through what I've gone through, or still wanting, or still go, or trying to get out of religion, and I want to help them. So that's like one of my reasons, my main reason why I promote my work so much. And because I recently, just, I was like, the other day, I saw this girl on Twitter, and she used to be a Christian, and man, like she apologized for everything that she used to think about towards other people. And she made a list, she made a thread, and I'm like, I used to preach the same, basically the same thing. I used to do that. I used to be where you were, and I know what it's like. And I told her that if she needed any help, or if she wanted someone to talk to, she could DM me, or she could check out my channel to hear my story and to help her somehow. So, I mean, I tried. Sometimes when I tell people that I'm an activist, I kind of feel weird about it, because I mean, I'm not a, I guess, a popular, like the normal activist, who goes out, like, do campaigns and are public speakers. But I mean, I in my opinion, I do consider myself, some of what I do, activism.
Have you
Especially
heard
when
of imposter syndrome?
no, I don't think so.
It sounds from what you're saying, it sounds like you might be suffering from imposter syndrome. And the way that people have explained that to me, and I get that way too. The way some people have explained it to me is it's like this idea of feeling like you aren't good enough to call yourself a certain thing. In your case, it's like calling yourself an activist, but you are an activist, and that's a good thing. And your content's good. There's a reason that you started making videos fairly recently, and you already got 65 subscribers. You hit 65 a lot quicker than I did. You deserve your subscribers and your audience. I'd say you deserve a lot more, but you definitely deserve at least to be where you are right now.
Thank you. I mean, yeah, I just and I recently talking to a friend, and I felt really bad because, oh no, I'm gonna start crying. I'm gonna start crying. I compare myself to Rachel Oates, Mr. Atheist, a non sequitur show, aka Kyle, Shannon Q, and Raging Atheist, and just a lot of other different people who have made such an impact in society, and have done so much with their work. And I feel like, of course, my channel and what I do is nothing compared to who they are. And I was getting emotional, and I was like talking to her about it. And I was just, I compare myself to for people that I look up to, and that I admire their work and what they have done. I compare myself to it and what I've done.
I get that feeling, but I hope you realize that your channel is going to be every bit as important as theirs are in a lot of different ways. A lot of the stuff that you've talked about, some of the stuff that it seems like you want to talk about, is stuff that's really important, stuff that people need to hear. Some atheists are going to need to hear stuff about how it's okay to have preached and it's okay to have like been not only a Christian, not just like an idle Christian, like a lot of us were, but someone who was very active in the church. I know a lot of a-religious friends now, people who are atheists who struggled when they first became atheists because of that. And your channel is going to be really important for them. I hope that you know that you're going to blow up. That's true. Your channel is going to explode. You create really good quality content. I'm very excited that you're here. I know that by you being here, I'm giving my audience a gift, and I'm not just being over here having a fun chat with you. I'm helping your audience grow, and a lot of my friends are people who deserve to see your content. Your stuff is good.
Can't make me cry.
I am very happy that you're here. And as someone who was also a queer Christian and is now a queer atheist, some of the stuff you talked about when you talked about that in your videos was stuff that really hit home for me. And that's part of the reason why I was so excited about having this chat. And in this chat, we didn't really talk all that much about the topic you're supposed to, but we can always have more chats. And I'm very open to the idea of you coming back on my channel.
I would come. I would just totally, because I was also looking for someone to like make a permanent collaboration with, like to maybe create another separate channel together, and to kind of like a podcast maybe, or to talk about different things, and humanism and atheism and just important topics.
I
haven't found anyone yet. No one wants to. Because I asked, I have some people in mind that I really want to collaborate in the future with, and one of them was Mr. Atheist, and but he was like, maybe down the road, but I usually collaborate with people that I really know and that I know a lot of the what their content is. And I was like, okay, well, a lot of people know me. And but it's kind of a bummer. But Jacqueline Glenn, she won't get back to me. She won't get back to me. And and hopefully down the road I'll be able to collaborate with Rachel Oates, and maybe with Shannon Q and Non Sequitur.
The Shannon Q, out of all the folks you just mentioned, Rachel and I know of each other because back when Rachel's channel was originally starting to grow, her channel grew up like explosively. But there was a period wherein her channel only had like a couple thousand subscribers, and I really liked the content she was creating. I still like most of the content that she's created, and I wrote an article about her. And Shannon Q and I have talked about each other in our videos. Because Ken Ham, not that many people know this now, but this was one of the things that helped my channel hit 250. Ken Ham decided that he didn't like an article I wrote about a video he made.
Oh, no.
He name dropped me very explicitly. He went after me and my blog. It was great. I made a video roasting him and like thanking him for the shout out, and that made my channel grow. Like I got like almost 70 subscribers because of that one video. It was great.
I was telling a group of friends, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't be surprised if someone part of like the NIFB mentioned me somewhere, because I'm starting to be active, and I'm starting to fight against them, and I'm very vocal, and I'm out in the open, so and when I get very passionate and like or upset about something, I'm very sassy, and I'm like very like out there, and like, don't mess with me. Like, no, you don't want to mess with me. So yeah, I get sassy and serious.
Gotta show them why you got that name. You earned that title.
I earned it. Yeah, it's in my DNA. I earned it.
I've done podcasts in the past. I really like doing podcast work. I'm working with one of my best friends on a podcast called the Millennial Project Podcast. And it's all about millennials and stuff, which is always a topic that people always like. No one has ever bashed a millennial before. The person that I'm working on this podcast with, our first episode is going to be coming out at the end of this month. We have begun the work on it. I've designed the website. It's just a matter of like sitting down, finishing it, and then actually creating the content. And I'm super excited about that because that's the first time I've mentioned it, but my friend has mentioned it before. And I've also done work on like political podcasts. My girlfriend and I have our own podcast called Thought Train, which we need to record more episodes of. And like in that, we talk about like life in the South because she's from Georgia. She has lived all of her life in Georgia, and she's only left Georgia a couple of times. And I went to high school in Georgia, among various other places.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's cool.
I'm gonna say once again for some of the folks who are just now getting into the live stream, go and subscribe to Sassy. Her content's great. And it seems like I sure hope that the live stream isn't bugging out because on my screen it's starting to just randomly refresh. So I'm gonna see if people can see the stream. That's always an unfortunate thing to have to ask, but it'd be like that. This is a while that I've seen that on my end. Odds are people can. This has happened before, and it's never really disrupted anything. But it's always good to be on the same page. I'm so glad that you came on today. I'm kind of sorry we didn't stay on topic, but I'm also not because we ended up having such a fun.
Exactly. I've been having so much fun.
I think that like these random streams, one of the things, like something that like kind of frustrates me that I want to do more of is I kind of want to do more random streams, but I have subscribers and I don't want them to come on to like a random unplanned stream that was completely unannounced and then them just see me chatting with one of my friends. I know folks who do that. That's not my thing, but I like the energy in this chat.
Especially when we talk about kid shows or movies.
Apparently, that is a topic that we feel very strongly about. Somebody needs to teach Little Bill a lesson, apparently. That's the lesson people can have from this stream.
I was in a recent I was collaborating with another freaking atheist, and we were talking about Scooby-Doo, and and Mark, I think it was Mark, is Caesar in the chat. Yeah. He was saying how it was Shaggy was like he was stoned, and I'm like, oh, don't go there. Don't go. No. We're not going to have this debate about Scooby-Doo. we had, I think we had another. Yeah.
Was someone was saying that Shaggy could like get it? Is that what they were saying?
No, he was probably stoned because of how he acted, and he was stoned. I mean, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Like, I hate to be that guy. He was. But
no, don't you dare tell me you're one of those people that say, no, I don't want to hear it. No.
That's the line in the sand. Atheists can have different opinions on a whole bunch of stuff, but on this issue, we have to be unanimous.
I don't want it. No, I don't want to hear it. Don't diss my Scooby. Don't diss my Scooby-Doo.
Scooby deserves better than this. I'm trying to see if I can like continue to read the comments because like the thing went down on my iPad and you and I are still talking, so I still have internet.
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea if the stream collapsed. It's entirely possible that it did. If it did, I sure hope one of my pals sends me like a message or something. That's probably not going to happen. Well, it's almost 6:30 anyway. So do you want to say any final things if people can still hear us? I honestly have no clue. If you could get on the chat, you probably can get on the chat as long as you mute like YouTube.
Yeah. What do you like? What do you want me to say? Someone just made a comment about Scooby-Doo. So
all right, cool. People can still hear us.
Okay.
So it's almost 6:30 now.
No,
I
it's
need
been
to
that
go and get
fast.
dinner. It went by really fast. That's the thing, because like we just sort of started riffing off of each other. And we were on like the same page.
This was supposed to be
Scooby-Doo.
We were supposed to be talking about like serious, like being queer, ex-Christian. We only talked about it for a short time, and then we started talking about kid shows and
I'm gonna
and
be
music.
real though. Like, as speaking as a queer ex-Christian, sometimes it's like this. Sometimes we get together with other folks and we talk about Scooby-Doo and
Exactly. Oh my gosh. I want to talk more.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna be doing more live streams this week, and I'm probably gonna have after parties. So some YouTubers who have after parties, like I know that you're friends with Neil, so you know this.
Yeah.
But some people who do after parties have like groups on Twitter, especially, where they like send out the Google Hangout stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of want to have that for myself, but like Wonder Lady has one for her, and like most of like we have all of the same friends in common. So usually I just send my link over there, and it's like anyone who wants to come on down can.
I know, kids. It's so much fun just just talking about random stuff and just especially when you're supposed to be talking about one thing and then you just get so off track. Someone might be like, what the heck does Scooby-Doo have to do with being queer?
I hope that people don't come onto the stream thinking that it's going to be like super serious. Most of my friends know that it won't be, because like and like I had an Asexuality O'Clock live stream last Saturday wherein I talked about like the language that asexuals use. I talked about terms like allosexual, demisexual, all that stuff. And then at the end, I started talking about anime and isekai stories, which was the reason I wanted to do an isekai stream. If you are here and you're new and you have no idea what I'm talking about, I do live streams every Saturday. I do live streams most Sundays. Yesterday, I did 2 live streams, which is unexpected. It was fun, but it was also a mess. I interview folks from all over, so if you're here and you want to be interviewed, I can't read the comments. I'm going to come back later on, and I'm going to see who said what. But I am about to close out the stream, which is very unfortunate. But do you want to say anything before you go, aside from make sure you guys subscribe to Sassy, because you should?
Hold on. If you guys have any questions or want to get to know me a little bit more or whatever, you can send me a message on Twitter. Like you said, go check out my channel. Leave any comment you want, and because I'm fortunate to have any comments, whether they're negative or not, because hey, you took the time to check my content out. And but yeah, I'm very active on Twitter, and I do have I am on Facebook, but that is like I'm only Facebook friends with people I know.
Yeah.
So like I don't put any link to that or anything until, or if I get to know someone, like them, and I know you're on it, I'll send you. So it's like for family and friends type of thing. Yeah.
I'll say that I also have a Facebook. I accept a wide range of friend requests as long as I can tell it's like a real person, which isn't always great, but I am an advocate and I want to run for office. So I want to have my like channels of communication very open. If you want to get to know me better, you can send me a friend request, but by far the best thing to do is to send me like Twitter DMs. Lots of people will tell you I'm not super great at responding to DMs, but I'm getting better. I'm doing my best. I had a lot of fun. I do sincerely recommend that folks go and check out Sassy. Her content is fantastic. You will not regret it if you subscribe, and I mean that sincerely. And I am going to let y'all go. I'm going to go get some dinner. I'm going to be on Chaotic Roll tonight at 8 p.m. EST, which is a D&D live stream with my friends Chrisiosity and Zalrock Chaos, whose name I can never pronounce correctly. There's a whole bunch of other folks, including Hallen, on that stream. People should go and check it out. I'll put the link on my Twitter in a couple of minutes.
You wouldn't believe how many some people that can't pronounce my real name.
So you friend requested me. I'm not going to say your real name, obviously, but I was surprised when I saw your name because I have a friend who has the exact same name, including the same last name. So for a second,
way.
I was unsure. Like,
oh my god, no
profile.
Oh no way! That is.
So I'm gonna end the stream. You and I are gonna be able to continue talking, but I am gonna end the stream. Bye, friends.
Bye.